All right. What is going on here? There we go. All right. Hey, friends, metal family, others out of the internet. Oh, look, I'm live. How's everybody doing today? Oh, all right. I just want to pop on here for a little bit and super nervous to talk about, but excited to talk about my new mission and a new company that I'm launching next month, and maybe ask some questions or get some feedback from everybody. So let's see here. Looking for my levels. All right. Well, let me know in chat if there's any issues with seeing me or hearing me. So far, it looks like everything's going. Jedi Grind, what's going on? You watching Cali Death podcast right now? So I've got some folks coming in on Instagram. It's awesome. Awesome. Good to know. Thank you, James. Sweet. Are we expected to see Savior coming back? Well, that's a question right off the bat. I mean, we are booked to play a show in September at the Texas Domination Fest. And so in that sense, yes. Look at that. Solely, what's going on? Looks like we got some people popping in. I wish I could consolidate these chats. That would be ideal. But anyway, yeah, so looking to ask questions or answer questions, get some feedback, and just tell everybody a little bit about the new venture, new mission. It's called TruSummit Wellness, and it is Cyclone Drums. What's going on? It is a a business that's focused on improving mental, physical, emotional health, and initially through diet, supplementation, exercise coaching, and those types of things. And so the initial phase is starting with dietary supplements and stuff that's going to help with energy, focus, relieving anxiety, depression, improving sleep, and stuff like that. And then going from there, there's be a second phase and a third phase that are going to be more about community and coaching, working with charities, mental health charities, and stuff like that. So I'm super excited. It's been a long, almost 9 months now. I've been working on it. Pretty scary, and but really excited to finally talk about it and get it out there and share it with the world. So quickly, a couple questions. Thank you, Soli. I do have StreamYard going for everything but Instagram. Instagram, apparently you can't put through StreamYards, so it's got its own separate chat. James, anything after TDF1? Nothing at the moment. Nothing solid or nothing announceable potentially, but that will be seen. It'll yet to be seen in the future. So I'm hoping there will be a lot after that, but who knows when exactly and what. Things are still out on the horizon and have to be figured out. And if everything works for everybody and everybody wants to do it, then we commit to it, and then we wait for whenever it's available to announce it. So let's see here. Yeah, solely, exactly. Typical. Instagram is doing its own thing. They don't want to be part of the gang. You got to use their separate interface and separate chat and everything else. So it looks like my Griff, Unmerciful JT, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Let's see if I can move this one over here. Move some stuff around. Nope. Just took up the whole monitor. All right. Anyway, yeah, so again, one of the things I'm doing, this company is called TruSummit Wellness, and it's focused on first phase, launch phase, is a line of dietary supplements, like I said, to help energy, focus. Clearly, I need to take some today. Yeah, energy, focus, anxiety, depression, sleep. There's a lot of other stuff we've been working on that are still getting tested and would be stuff that will be rolled out, hoping to roll out kind of as quickly as possible. But there's been a huge investment so far in getting all the groundwork and everything set up and getting formulas and getting them manufactured. And there's been a whole testing process, third-party testing, and it's got to go through like an FDA evaluation to make sure that all the ingredients are, nothing crazy or illegal or dangerous. And so it's finally come back. It's ready to be shipped to the warehouse and put on the shelf, labels on the bottles and ready to ship in a next couple of weeks. So set a date a month out from the other day just to make sure there's plenty of time because there's any hiccups going with that, and everything should be ready to go to launch on the 15th of next month. Jedi with the clap emote. Thank you. James, the boys and I have not had an opportunity to practice together yet. We are doing a lot of individual practice between now and the end of September. And then we're planning to get together anywhere for a couple days to a week in advance to actually practice in the same room with each other. So looking forward to that. That should be fun. And yeah, I'm just super excited to be, getting on stage again and playing with Severed. That's awesome. Something that I've always enjoyed, and of every part of all aspects of the music process, from writing and recording and rehearsing, and even though shows are stressful, it's my favorite part for sure. So, Disintegrate. Well, thank you. Obviously, drumless. Yes, interesting moving into a wellness-related venture. So it's something that's kind of been a long time coming. I've spent a long time in the IT industry, and then kind of doing random stuff. Ended up in management, going down a management track of, shift manager, day manager, night manager, all the way up to general manager and operations manager, and a lot of positions like that in the last couple decades. And going in this direction is something different than what I've been doing. I just spent the last 5 years running auto repair shops, which was brutal and nearly consumed my soul completely. And I think that's kind of what led me here. Is before I got into that, that's when the idea was originally born, 2017. I really wanted to figure out more about myself and my own, anxiety, depression, and other diet, nutrition, and figuring out started to really kind of realize different things affecting me in different ways, eating different foods or, that type of stuff, and looking for supplements. And coming from a fairly poor upbringing, I was always very frugal. And when I got into the world of my, vitamins and minerals and supplements and, protein for working out at the gym or whatever, I always went for the cheapest ones, because I always felt like, too much money for the name brands, or they can't be worth it, or they can't be that good, or those types of things. And so in the beginning, I tried a lot of cheap stuff that I really didn't feel like it did much for me. I didn't feel a difference. I didn't, notice any improvements or anything radical or, noticeable. So I would fade in and out of taking vitamins, taking one-a-day vitamins, or taking probiotic type stuff, or, that type of stuff. And it wasn't until, more recently, when I finally gave in to looking for higher quality stuff and paying for the higher quality stuff, that I found things that really started to make a difference. So, like I said, this is the genesis for this started back in 2017, and I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, and wasn't sure, which direction to go at the time. And then the auto repair shop thing kind of fell into my lap, and so I dropped everything and I went and started doing that. And that was a tumultuous and what do you call it? Very difficult, or lots of roadblock filled 5 years of doing that. But I learned a lot in a lot of other, not just running auto repair businesses, but just in general. And when I got out of that last year and really wanted to with the Balky, yeah, I really wanted to just go to the woods and hide and retreat from the world. And when I did get some time away and some peace and some clarity, and really started to think about what I wanted to do, and I really started to focus again on my health, my nutrition, and getting supplements and that. And that is when the idea really hit me the strongest. Was that's what I wanted to do before, and that's something I really needed to try and fulfill that. And if nothing else, I would have super high quality, really high quality, efficaciously dosed stuff for myself, my family, my friends, and potentially to share with the world. And getting into coaching and therapy and other things like that really opened my eyes to the potential, good that could be done, or that I could do if I was put my skills and talents towards helping people in another way besides just running some business like a repair shop, or hospitality or something like that. So anyway, that was kind of the genesis for this, and I started to really hone in on what that was last fall and last December. So it was really when it started to come together, with starting to put the pieces together into what has turned into TruSummit Wellness. So take a second here to see what I'm missing in chat. Jedi. Anyway, so Badger, holy shit, I'm doing very good, thanks. It's been a long time. How are you? That's awesome. So great. Similar curiosities. Your partner has a clinic for the last 13 years and look forward to more info. Nice. Very cool. Yeah. Well, I'm not quite there. I'm about there. One of the things that I intend to do over the coming weeks, as I'm getting close to this launch, is putting the, some of the final pieces together with, um, now that it's something that I have physically in my hands and can show and can talk about. um, I'm doubling down on looking for other people, especially if it's people that are already in my ecosystem, so to speak, in the metal world, people that I'm already friends with, or friends of a friends with, social media friends with, that are in the health and wellness space or something related to it. People that would be um, interested, in collaborating or working together, or somehow being involved in connecting our missions together. And whether that's they've got a business and we could get together to do, like a podcast type of interviews or podcasts, um, joint venture type of stuff. People that would be out there that would be interested in basically being an ambassador or even an affiliate, helping on the sales side of spreading the word and letting people know about it. And, there's potential there for affiliate sales and other things like that. And Jedi's gone for lunch. Ian, what's going on? Oh man, mental health advocates. Yes, exactly. So that type of thing. Exactly. Badger, awesome. Doing good. Keeping fit, drumming as much as your old body will allow. I hear the old part. I'm definitely feeling that. It's taking a lot more effort and taking a lot longer to recover these days than I'd like to say. I was hit by a car in 2019. That's rough, man. I'm sorry I didn't know that. That's brutal. Yeah, recovering from a destroyed shoulder is definitely no fun, I can imagine. It's good to see you too, Ian. It's been a long time. Yeah. Jedi having an au jus sandwich. I don't know. He's having an Australian something sandwich for sure. It's funny. Scott, what's going on? Adam, happy birthday. Hell yeah. Thanks for popping in. Anyway, so yeah, where was I? Spent a lot of time, a lot of effort. I'm naturally curious and kind of like a constant learner type of person. So he's having him a sugar cookie for, hey, yeah, for sure. But I've always been one of those people, and it's good for me that I've existed, or that the internet has existed for most of my adult life, because it was a lot harder to learn things and find stuff out before that. And it's amazing now because I'm just naturally curious and I want to know how everything works. When I like the mechanics of stuff and how things work. So I got interested in cars. I got old enough to have a car, started driving. My dad was like, you need to learn how to take care of it, do the maintenance, do the oil changes, rotate your tires. And so I started learning more about cars and how they work. What's the internal combustion engine comprised of? How do those pieces fit together? What's the process? And going down that rabbit hole, and everything that I do, I get interested in. I go down these, I like to call them rabbit holes of just research where I can spend hours and hours and hours learning. And so over the last few years, particularly last year and a half, I was really doing a lot of time trying to find good supplements because I was just dying at that job at the running the repair shops with the hours. I was working 6-7 days a week for several years, 12, 14, 16-hour days, and not eating right, not hydrating well, and not exercising enough. And so I started doing a lot of research on supplementation, and outside of like diet, I didn't have the ability, the facilities to have a bunch of food and prepare it and eat natural diets, raw diet type stuff like that. And I was like, how can I boost my Chipotle and pizza and like egos, that I do have time and I can't afford, and what can I do to improve that? Dusty, what's up? Jeff, hell yeah. Um, anyway, where was I going? So, spent a lot of time looking into researching, learning about different formulas, different versions of vitamins and minerals, synthetic vitamins or natural vitamins, and um, that type of stuff. And what's the most bioavailable for your body, as opposed to like what's in your cheap, what's in your Centrum one a day vitamin, or anything that's like a compressed pill, and how much does your body really break that down? How much can it absorb? And what are the things that are in those that are put together that have to be in certain forms so they don't react with each other, which are actually forms that make them less bioavailable and less able to be absorbed or stored or used by your body. And so again, that being kind of what led me into starting with supplements, because some of the other stuff is a little bit more even more delicate than that. It takes time, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of hours to get certifications for coaching and life coaching or stuff like that, and finding the right people to work with in that field as well. So rather than spending another 2 years researching and planning and strategizing and not doing anything, I really wanted to do something that could make an impact now, and starting with myself, my family, my friends. So decided to start with the supplements, and I went down that road. And so there, I didn't want to have crap. I didn't want to have cheap stuff. I didn't want to have things that contained heavy metals or were not bioavailable sources. That is tricky because like 90, 95, 96, 98% of the stuff out there is really not made with quality in mind. Like if you start going to the vitamins, minerals, health food section at your store, your grocery store, or look on the internet, look on Amazon, start looking up protein, start looking up anything, magnesium, zinc, multivitamins, you start looking them up and look for how many of them have the certifications, third-party tested or FDA approved, or GMP, which is good manufacturing procedures, or are they made in NSF facilities? Do they, have they been tested for heavy metals? Like most 95% of the stuff out there doesn't have any of those badges on it because it's not very high quality stuff that hasn't passed those types of screens and regulations. There's no law against sourcing cheap stuff and putting it out there and selling it on Amazon or getting it into Walmart, as long as it passes as long as the ingredient list passes the FDA approval and the labels pass approval, that they don't make any false claims. There's not actually a law that they have to be third-party tested for purity, which is crazy. But that's the way it is. So most of the stuff out there is like pretty low quality and not all that good for you. So yeah, Cyclone, that's good. It's like you want to, that's, what you want to have is like, you want to have, made at FDA registered facility, good manufacturing practice, consistent quality, which is GMP, manufactured at an NSF facility. My brain is NSF right now, but third-party lab tested, and then you get into all the other specificities, like, are they non-GMO? Are they 100% natural ingredients? Are they corn-free, lactose-free? Are they gluten-free? Are they plant-based or vegan-friendly? Like, depending on the product, there's a lot of variables, and there's so many out there that are really low quality. So, yeah, Ian, the good ones are made at the NSFW facilities. I think we're talking about different things. I don't know if we're talking about memes or supplements, but yeah, disintegrate without the balanced gut working, metabolism, etc. The proper absorption of nutrients, etc., are a very intriguing orchestra. But then the point you're stating in quality and proper, yeah, right. Finding the right things that do the right things, and they're in the right form that your body can absorb them. And yeah, it's actually a lot more to it than I thought before. And the more you go down the rabbit hole, the more you realize like, oh, I've been taking stuff for years. That no wonder why I felt like it didn't do anything for me. No wonder why I was like, you know, it didn't seem like it made any improvement. Not, to be fair, there are some things that there's not going to be an overnight change. There's not going to be an overnight feeling. You're not going to take it and just feel like a different person the next day. Like there's no miracle drugs. There's very few things you'll notice that quickly. Now, when it comes to some of the things that act as stimulants to give you energy, obviously like caffeine, you drink a giant coffee from Starbucks or somewhere, or you drink you chug a Monster, like unless you drink 3 of those a day, you'll definitely feel it when it kicks in. But a lot of stuff is not like that. A lot of stuff takes time to kind of build up in your system and to where it reaches like the maximum levels or the most what do you call it? I want to say efficacious, but not trying not to use like big words, but just where it makes the most improvement. So there's some things that I've taken over the years that are decent products, but like a joint supplement or something, I would have to take it for 2 or 3 weeks consistently every day before I would really notice a difference. And it's not that like, oh, my knees, I suddenly like realized my knees didn't hurt when I got out of bed in the morning, or my ankles or my back. It was a couple weeks later when I noticed, oh, hey, I've been feeling better. Why? What's different? Oh, yeah, my knees are not aching like it normally aches. That's weird. I wonder why. Oh, yeah, that's right. I've been taking this supplement for the last couple of weeks. It's the same thing when you stop taking things like that. It's not an overnight, like I took it today and I was fine. I didn't take it tomorrow and then I felt pain. A lot of that stuff takes time to wear off. So I can stop taking a joint supplement, for example, and I don't notice anything for a couple weeks. But then 3 weeks from now, I'll be like, oh man, like, why is my knee aching and my back hurt? Like, what? Yeah, my ankle hurt. Why? And then it's like, oh, that's right. I ran out a few weeks ago and I didn't buy any. So anyway, let me look at some comments here real quick. Badger McBlasty said, vitamin D, zinc, taurine, omega-3, Japanese soy, fermenting byproduct called nattokinase. The U.S. has pretty bad regulations. I also heard the FDA is trying to make supplements like vitamin D a medication. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of like on a fine line of things that would be considered. And I think it's like, not to be conspiracy theorists, but kind of like a big pharma type of thing where nutraceuticals and things that really that do have a serious like impact, they're trying to make those, to like reclassify some things as being an actual medication. So then it has to be controlled and regulated and can only be given by prescription and that type of stuff. And I honestly do think that part of that is to get some of the business out of the supplement market and more back into the hands of the large pharmaceutical companies. But I don't know, it's all over the place. It's a very fine line with some products as far as what you can say it is and what you can say it does. And some of them, even though there's been plenty of studies that show they do this, you can't say they do that, because that would be considered something that would be medically like, you can't say that they actually are going to cure any disease or any medical problem. That's not allowed. So even if it's something that does directly help a medical problem, you can't say that it does, because then you can get kicked off the shelves, you lose your credit card processors, you can lose all kinds of stuff, you can get fined. But as long as you don't say that it does anything it's not supposed to, you can put crap out there and sell it for high dollar, and people buy it and get nothing for it. It's just crazy that way. But yeah, Ian, GMOs are terrifying, and yeah, the lack of regulation, it is really scary. Because like, after I started looking at this, and you start looking at all food and what's going on in food, I'm sure a lot of people have been seeing this one going around recently. But there was like a video I saw not too long ago. Somebody bought ice cream sandwiches from Walmart, and they took them home and left them out. They took one out of the package and put it on a plate, and they left the box of them on the counter and left them overnight, and they didn't melt. They just turned into like a weird yellow kind of pudding type of stuff. And then, so you start reading the ingredients on the label to figure out like what is in this that keeps it from melting. If it was really ice cream, shouldn't ice cream melt? And so there's a lot of stuff like that, a lot of things out there with food grade silicone in them, food grade silicone. So it's rubber, but it's okay if we eat it. Okay. Anyway, let's see here. Disintegrate. Yeah, Health Canada regulations would be interesting to compare with FDA. It would, because I think they're probably better for the most part, or stricter maybe, but there's definitely some variation, which I think would be interesting to like put like a line by line comparison together and see what's stricter and what's actually looser as opposed, US versus Canada. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. Ivermectin, anyone? Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a whole topic for another time. All these videos involve Walmart. Yeah, rubber watermelons, etc. Yeah, it's crazy what you can put out there and put food on it, and like you said, the GMOs and other things like that. Anyway, yeah, it's a lot of crazy stuff that. So anyway, I wanted to come up with stuff that's developed on like cutting edge scientific research and formulations and stuff that's going to support healthy. It's going to improve with the crap food we have, to improve like healthy stress levels and reduce physical and mental burnout, and just a lot of things, increasing energy, improving your immune function, hormone, thyroid, and adrenal axis, gut brain axis stuff. Because there's so much crap food and there's less and less nutrition in it, you kind of have to be taking something, unless you're growing your own food and raising your own animals, because even a lot of the stuff you buy at the health food stores it's a lot of it's on the it's questionable about, well, there's no pesticides, it's non-GMO, it's not this, it's not that, but almost I'm trying to say this. If you compare garden grown vegetables and stuff to and meat and those things to what you get at the store, even in the stores that say that they're not treated and they're not full of stuff, they're different. I mean, they're just different. I don't know how else to say it. So yeah, creating supplements and things that can, improve those things is important, because you basically, unless you have a personal chef or lots of time and lots of money to grow and make your own food, like I feel like most people that got to shop at the big stores, you need more than what you're getting out of it. So, and then it was super important. Like I wanted to make sure that it's made here in the U.S., even though, the ingredients might be sourced from different places, because there's certain places in the world you can get different ingredients, but that, they're made at an FDA registered facility, that they're NSF certified facility, with the good manufacturing practices, third party tested for quality and for dose, and just to make sure that they're really like the highest quality thing I can get my hands on, short of being a billionaire and building all the plants and everything else, manufacturing and stuff myself. So it took a lot of time to try to find manufacturers that do that are operate in that way, and that are going to guarantee me they're getting the highest quality ingredients, and it's not cheap, And a lot of people were like, oh, why? You don't have to do that. Oh, it doesn't have to be that high quality. Oh, you don't need to go to that length, um, which was frustrating. But anyway, but that's the goal. That's the plan. That's what I'm doing is creating stuff. I want it to be like the stuff so far is in the top 1% quality, like 99, 98 point something, like 99% of the stuff you're going to find on the store at Walmart or on Amazon or anywhere else, like 99% of that is not going to match that quality and that purity, and that effectiveness for supplements. And so Centigrade, you didn't miss it. I didn't actually say anything about retail. I thought in the beginning, like, okay, I can put this together and create a website, a Shopify store, and then go hit up all the local gyms and fitness coaches, try to get them to use it, and go to the local health food store, because there's only like one in town where I live now, and try to get it on Walmart, put it on Amazon, put it in the places where people go. I've since realized though that it's not the right route for me. I don't want to be a teeny tiny small business. I do want to get them out there, and I do want to be able to get them to people, and help people and have it be successful. But there's a lot of things that you got to do to have it on Walmart's website or Amazon's website, and the ways to succeed. And then you've got the pricing. How would you say? Let's say limits or guidelines. It's a lot of rules and stuff that don't, and things that make you stand out from the crowd in those marketplaces are not things that lead to being sustainable if you're an ultra high quality level product. That I just don't know how to say it otherwise. It's also difficult to do Amazon FBA. You'd have to ship them hundreds or thousands of bottles of stuff that could potentially then sit in a warehouse for months, and then by the time people get it, it's not technically bad or expired. It's just not fresh enough to be at the highest quality that it should be when you get it. And so anyway, I've decided to kind of go a little bit more grassroots and small, in that it will be a website, a Shopify store, and I will be employing it's basically marketing and sales funnel technology to, get it out to the right people that are looking for that type of thing, that appreciate it, that, want to get a really high quality product at a reasonable price, and not worry about like mass market for the sake of mass market. It doesn't do me any good to price it to where it makes no money and I can't keep doing it, and it does you no good for me to make a lower quality product to make money on it. But again, that's why I'm going to be talking a lot more about finding some people that are already in the same space that we can collaborate or joint venture with, or people that would be interested in being ambassadors, becoming ambassadors for. Really, it's more of like long term. This is more of a movement as opposed to just like, here's some supplements or some vitamins. This is the first phase, the first step. So yeah, definitely be looking for people to collaborate with, people that to be ambassadors, people that would be affiliates that have that are, like I said, already in that space, that have friends, family, followers, or audiences that are looking for that type of thing, that they could put it in front of. It could help them, and they could make some, basically like a commission with affiliate sales work, and we would all help each other out in that sense. So, Badger, the 3 Gs: guns, garden, and gold. Yes, have those things. Have those things. Let's see here. I missed a couple things. Sorry, Ian. Videos are circulating about a deworming med for dogs that is curing cancer. That's a little weird. Yeah. You know, I'm not religious, but the saying, God forbid, it's like, God forbid it really does work, because then it'll probably get like outlawed to use for dogs, because it'll get bought up and then it'll just never get released to actually cure cancer, because there's no money in curing cancer. But Kevin, thanks for the follow. Right on. Very true details. Appreciate that. Disintegrate. How many platforms am I streaming on? I've found software called StreamYard. Actually, I went through a whole bunch of those, just like I do go through everything in my life. I went through half a dozen before I landed on StreamYard. And it just happens to be the one that the Cali Death podcast uses, which I feel bad because they're on right now and I don't want to compete with them at all. I was supposed to go on a few hours ago and life got in the way. Family visiting and all kinds of stuff. Just didn't happen. But anyway, it's called StreamYard, and I can essentially stream to theoretically as many platforms at once as I want to. So I am actually on my Facebook profile and my Facebook music page, Twitch, and my Separate Troy Instagram, and and my YouTube channel, which I don't have a lot of followers on YouTube, so there's probably not anybody watching on YouTube. But anyway, I just checked all the buttons pretty much. It came up with a bunch of accounts, and I guess I missed it. I did miss a couple. I'm not streaming on everything I could be streaming on. I might one of these days. You might find me just pirating all of the social media accounts that I have access to, but only because I want to get the word out. And it's tough to get noticed and get in front of people, even when you've got a bunch of friends on the internet, and you could have 400 and know them all personally, and still not everybody sees your posts. And you could, sometimes it doesn't matter. You could have 4,000, you could have 40,000 fans, followers, whatever you want to call it, and still only 100 people see what you're posting or what you're doing. So it's said that the platforms favor live video. So my goal is to start going live as frequently as I can get myself on here to do it. Because I do want to get as much reach as I can to get the word out and let people know what's going on. And like I said, look for like-minded people that are interested in what I'm doing, are already in that space, or would be interested in working together some way or another, that type of stuff. Yeah, Ian, I stopped using OBS and you're using EVMux. Okay, interesting. I'll have to talk to you more about that later, because yeah, OBS and Streamlabs OBS, they kind of piss me off, and they're not good for multi-streaming in a sense that they use lots of bandwidth to go to each one. And I have kind of crappy internet right now, and I'm kind of out in the country, so I needed something that could take one stream and then break it out and send it to the platforms. And so that's where I landed on StreamYard. But I had looked at EVMux a little bit, but it was kind of later in the mix when I pretty much already settled on StreamYard, and it looked like I need something simple to start with, and then maybe more configure will be better as I go. Disintegrate, you said, cool, good to know. That was you on the Insta. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Right on. You just got different names on different platforms. Right on. Does the same thing, but way easier for multi-streaming. Well, I like that. I like that. OBS and Restream. So yeah, see, Soli, I've heard that, like, that's one thing that right now is some of the things OBS has, which are really nice. Like, I'd like to be able to have the multi-camera angles. I like to be able to do the chroma key for green screen. Like, I live in a older place that you can see is like kind of rustic, and I don't have anywhere in here that's like would be a good backdrop. So we're gonna work on that. And I actually, before switching kind of last minute to StreamYard, I signed up for Restream, and I can't remember right this second what it was, but I did run into an issue with it that kind of soured me. And so I ended up going back to the drawing board list, and Restream was one of the first ones I looked at it. And then there was some reason 6 months ago, I decided not to use it. I came back around and looked at StreamYard again and was like, you know what, I'm just going to go with StreamYard. I know a bunch of people that are using it. It's working well for them. So anyway, stream layouts that you built. Ian, yeah, that'd be cool. See the layouts and stuff. OBS is awesome, but I have other Nimrods that need to stream and don't have a lust for technology like me. Yeah, it takes a little, definitely OBS is a lot. I think of all the things I've tried, it's the one that takes the most kind of like getting to know it, and kind of it's more technical as far as making it work. So let's see here. I think you got to pay for more than 2 or 3 platforms. I think that was one of the things solely on Restream was that they advertise you can connect to as many platforms as you want, but the highest tier, which is like $100 a month or something like that, was still only connected to 8 platforms, or maybe it was 9 because StreamYard does 8, so Restream does 9, but you got to pay way more money to actually connect to all 9 platforms. Otherwise, dollar for dollar, I can connect to 8 with StreamYard for whatever this is, and Restream I'd have to be paying 3 times as much to connect to 8 or 9. So, but I really liked everything else about Restream. I was bummed. I honestly, I think when I first looked at them like 6 months ago, that their pricing structure was different. I'm pretty sure you were able to connect to all of them at the lower tier memberships back then, and that they semi-recently changed it because their website's different, and I think the pricing structure is different. So anyway, yeah, OBS takes a ton of time, skills, and creativity for sure. Yeah. So, let's see here. Yeah, so obviously I'm not great at doing this stuff, and it's a skill I need to work on. But I do plan on getting myself on here more often, and I'm looking to talk to people more, get more information out about just what I'm doing, but kind of educationally as well, as far as what's kind of going on in the dietary supplement space. And like I said, looking for people to work with in some way or form, and looking for some feedback. So that's a question actually. Let's see here. Typical gets more popular and the price goes up. Yeah. Rumble has a streaming service too. Unsure of the price. I don't know if I heard of Rumble. I have to look at that one. Hadn't seen me or Mike for months, and you've gotten us both in a week. Did Mike stream? Did I not get a notification? Oh shit. Yeah, I know. I'm like, I know I stopped streaming, but what's his excuse? He did. Oh, well, crap. I don't know why I didn't get a notification. Huh. I'll have to go check that. What's going on? Twitch on Saturday on Twitch? I'm assuming Twitch. I don't know that he streamed anywhere else. Well, shit. Let's go see if there's a VOD. And he popped on here earlier, it told me on Instagram, but I don't know if he's just, if he went away or if he's just lurking. Anyway, what the hell was I saying? Oh, for however many of you that are watching, and if anybody would, please let me know in chat, or just comment if you're watching this later after it's live and it's available on Facebook or wherever. There's some, let me say this, there's, you can never have too much knowledge, too much information, right? And so even though I've spent a lot of time researching and working on putting this together and getting this going, and I have multiple half a dozen products that are made or already, like I said, they're either ready to be put on the shelf or they're in the testing phase and they should be ready in the next couple of weeks. Thousands upon thousands of dollars that I've had to beg, borrow, and invest to make this happen, because you have to buy like 300 bottles of something to get it made after you've gone through spending hundreds of dollars doing test formulas and testing them and getting them tested. And then after you've done spending all that money, then you got to buy like 300 of each. Typically, it's about that, 300 to 500, depending on which manufacturer. Anyway, so a lot of time, a lot of money wrapped up, and I've done a lot of research, but I would really love to get some feedback from, from you guys, from people that I am connected to through social media and otherwise in real life, as opposed to just random people on the internet that I have no relationship with. I will be running ads on Facebook and maybe at some point on Google, and will be looking to, obviously find people that are interested to get their attention. But it takes a lot more time and effort to get feedback from people that don't know you at all, as people that have a little bit of an idea at least. So, sorry, I was just reading chat here. Rumble is a free speech platform, totally uncensored. That's awesome. Solely took about 15 steps to figure out the weird disappearing mic and guitars. That sounds like that was fun. She's Big Lair joined. What's up, Big Lair? It's been forever. Anyway, what was I saying? I would love to get some feedback. So the question is, sorry, I'm rambling here. The question is, if I put together like a Google survey or something and put it out there, would anybody be interested in doing that to give me some feedback on kind of like their lifestyle, things that they're aspiring to, or things they struggle with, that type of stuff? And I ask this because one of the things, it's like still a little early to talk about, but one of the things we'll be doing in 3 or 4 weeks is going to be a series of webinars, for lack of a better term. I don't know what you'd call them. There'll be live events. I hope to have a couple of people to kind of guest speak and educate. And but it'd be really important if I could answer questions that I knew people had, and know that in advance. Because when you're doing something live right now, I'm talking to you live, and if I was to say right now, please everybody in chat, type in the thing that's your biggest struggle with your life, your diet, your exercise, your sleep, that type of stuff, or give me your most important goal of what you would love to do to make your life better, whether that's your diet, your exercise, your sleep, whether mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, dealing with mood disorders or genetic predispositions, or what, it's like you ask people that in the moment and you don't get very many responses. And even if you do get a reasonable amount of responses, it's kind of hard to keep track of and collate and answer everything. So my thought is that I'm going to put out some type of like a survey, and maybe to incentivize, I don't know, do you guys think it'd be a good idea? What if I did like a contest or a giveaway where everybody that fills out the survey gets a chance to win like a $50 Amazon gift card or something like that? Would any of you be interested in that? Would any of you fill out that survey for a chance to win? What do you think? Yeah, exactly, Sully. I think anonymity is kind of key in that sense, and people would probably give better answers, more thoughtful answers, or more honest answers, like you said, if it's not just asking them to type it into chat in a live situation. And then also you want to make sure that you have thoughtful, poignant answers too for the questions, or for, to address the issues. And so that's something that's kind of simmering in the back of my mind, that like, okay, well, it's getting close. I need to figure this out. I don't want to just be blabbering along off of a script about my product's so great and it does this and it does that. It's going to fix all your problems. How do I know it's going to fix your problems if I don't know what your problems are? Right? How do I know it's going to help you hit your goal or, give you the effects you want if I don't know what effects you're looking for, if I don't know what your goals are? So that's my thoughts is doing something like a Google survey or somewhere it's easy to get to, and it'd be a certain amount of anonymity. I would need to collect some information so that the winner could win. Typically like a name and an email, or at least an email, and then winners would get announced by email. You get an email that you get a digital gift card kind of thing in the mail, or in your email. And yeah, exactly, Syndicated. I think it's a simple enough thing just to start. I need to start the feedback loop at least. Right now, being that I've only had samples that I've had made, I haven't been able to get the products to a lot of people to sample, to test, to give me feedback on. I don't have a whole long list of 5-star reviews yet because I haven't been able to get it out there. And so that's difficult. That's a difficult thing to overcome. But also, I don't want to send, my sleep formula supplement to somebody that has no problem sleeping, somebody that sleeps great, falls to sleep on command and sleeps as long as they want and doesn't wake up 5 times a night. They don't need it. It's the people that have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, people that don't get good sleep for 8 hours, wake up tired. Those are the people that need it. I went down, the road. Everything that I've done so far, honestly, very selfishly, has been something that I've needed or wanted, or I've already been buying other supplements for. And I really wanted to have a better one, or with more control of it, to be able to not have ingredients that don't work well with me. And so everything I've got so far, I really selfishly have designed for myself and people that have the same issues that I have, which is, I've had a thing for the last several years. I've been noticing a serious lack of energy. Regardless of how much sleep I had, I didn't have very much energy, and I was supplementing, trying to overcome that with drinking lots of caffeine and energy drinks. And I've been a monster addict for a decade, really. And it's only now that I've got this supplement that I've completely kicked my monster habit, and still have coffee, a little bit of coffee here and there, just because my whole family drinks coffee and they've been around lately and it smells good and I think I want it until I drink it, and then I'm like, oh, coffee has never worked for me. Caffeine directly has never been something that's really worked well for me. It's a little bit does nothing, and a little bit more makes me cracked out. But since I've gotten these supplements made, this is the first time I've, in a decade or more, 15, I don't know how many years, that I woke up in the morning and not had coffee or not had a monster, and have actually had energy and felt focused, felt clarity, felt awake, felt energized. And so anyway, everything I've done so far has been selfish. I've been wanting more energy. I have a problem with clarity and focus, and all the things, ADHD, all kinds of different reasons for having energy and focus and clarity issues. And sleep, I spent a lot of years not sleeping enough, or when I was asleep, I slept like a rock, but I would lay in bed for 2 or 3 hours not being able to get to sleep, unless I worked myself physically or mentally to being completely exhausted. And that led to me living a 26 or 28-hour day, which either meant my sleep schedule was always rotating, or if I worked a job with set hours, that I was getting to work with 3 or 4 hours of sleep at least a couple of days a week, because I would just stay up later and later every night and then not get enough sleep and have to get up and go to work. And lack of sleep affects your memory, your focus, your clarity, all those things. And so you eat more, you drink more caffeine, you do all these things because you're not getting to sleep well. So all the things I have so far, I really have started with addressing like my needs and finding things that work good for me. And so, the next step of that process is finding other people that have the same issues. And so that you have something that worked good for them. It really makes no sense. If somebody wakes up full of energy, bright awake and clear headed every day, and they don't drink coffee and they don't drink energy drinks and they're just naturally full of life, well, they don't need that supplement. That's not gonna, you give them more energy, might make them cracked out, I don't know, but it's like they don't need that. People that need that are the people that are dragging their ass every morning trying to get out of bed and to get awake and feel like they need 2 or 3 cups of coffee or try a can of Monster on the way to work. And so those are the people that this stuff would help, right? Anyway, so I'm going to get into a lot more detail about all the individual products and what they do later. I don't want to blabber on about that right now, but anyway, Momentous X, thank you for the follow. Right on. Soli, you said you got a few that have sleeping problems in the U.S. Children. Awesome, thank you. Taurine tabs. I know, right? That's half the reason why I drank Monsters for so long, and not the ones with all the sugar, but the zero sugar. My brain, I just forgot what you call them. Ultra, like the Ultra Peach or the Ultra, that series. Because sugar bad, sugar cracked me out. Too much caffeine cracked me out. Coffee doesn't make me feel like I have energy at all. At least with Monster, it was full of B vitamins and ginseng and taurine and a bunch of other stuff that gave me something more than what caffeine would do by itself. But I still couldn't drink the Monster very fast, because if I drank it fast, the caffeine would just my brain would be going faster than my mouth. I'd get cracked out. So even though I drank Monster, I'd have to sip it for 4 to 8 hours, because if I drank it too fast, then it would just be too much caffeine. So that was always a challenge, always balancing, I'm not awake enough, I don't have the energy, but if I drink this faster, then I'm just going to spin out and I'm not going to be able to focus and get anything done or think or talk to people. So that sucked. And that's what I've been dealing with for over a decade. And I'm so fucking happy to be done with that. It's amazing. So let's see. You said early in life, it was the extreme jam sessions, then being so hungry, eating fast food, large pizzas, late night, then trying to sleep by sheer digestion coma with a body full of adrenaline from drums. Sound familiar? Yeah, that's very, I'm gonna have to copy that. That's a very accurately, I'll star it, see what that does here. That's an apt description of what a lot of my life was like for a long time. Whether it was jam sessions or working swing shift to graveyard type hours, or going to school and working and trying to have a social life and trying to be in bands and play shows. And yeah, for sure. I super guilty. I love pizza and burritos. And I used to have a nickname, which I didn't like. It was Hot Pocket, because I was always trying to eat from work to band practice. And so I would stop at 7-Eleven or somewhere and buy a burrito or a Hot Pocket and microwave it and eat it and show up with a Hot Pocket. But yeah, I love pizza. I could eat pizza 7 days a week. I worked at a pizza place in high school 5 days a week and ate there on my days off. I just love pizza. I love burritos, all kinds of burritos from all kinds of different places. I get a lot of shit for going to Chipotle, but I also creature of habit, and I like easiness, and I don't like lines and crowds. So I love Chipotle because I can order it online with the app, and then it's sitting on a shelf, and I just walk in and I grab it and I leave. There's no Chipotle's here, though, unfortunately. I only get to one about every month or two because it's over an hour away. So I miss my Chipotle. But anyway, my middle name, really I have 2 unofficial middle names, and they are Pizza Burrito. Troy Pizza Burrito Fullerton. So I absolutely love those foods, which are huge, super carb dense, super calorie dense, and going all day long, not eating right and not eating enough, and then eating a gigantic burrito at 10 o'clock at night and trying to go to bed at 11 or 12 or 1. I mean, it never worked because I would always lay there for 2 or 3 hours. But yeah, I mean, just not healthy. Definitely not good for keeping the weight off. Yeah, bad habits. Bad habits. In a former life, I was a qualified chef. I made a lot of pizza. Nice. Right on, Badger. Oh my God, I had a flashback of getting off work, pit stopping at Wendy's and eating while driving with my knees to the jam spot. Yeah, exactly. I was excellent driving with my knees. Excellent. Stick shift, and I'd have food in one hand and a drink in the other, and driving with my knee, and like shift, take a sip, eat, shift. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, good times. Good times. So, yeah, I definitely spent a lot of years not having a good diet, not getting enough exercise, even though I got a lot of exercise playing drums. It was not like a full body exercise, definitely not a good core workout. And just eating foods that I shouldn't have in quantities that I shouldn't have. And yeah, I feel like I'm paying for it now, really. So I'm trying to reverse that as much as possible. Oh, I missed your, what'd you say, Sully? Everything you just talked about is me right now. In the end, I swapped Monster for Jaeger for 12-hour shifts. Not my finest hour, but it worked. Jagger or Jaeger? Jägermeister? Or is Jagger another energy drink I'm just not aware of, potentially? Okay. That's yeah. That's okay. Well, yeah, finding things that work even when there are things that don't work, I guess. You know. Anyway, so yeah. Thank you everybody that's tuned in, anybody that's still with us, anybody that's hanging out or dropping stuff in chat. I appreciate it. I appreciate the interaction. I tend to be kind of a introverted hermit, but I do, as much as I dreaded pushing that go live button, I always have a good time when I do. Having a good time now, and appreciate it. So I'm gonna wrap up here in a minute, but if anybody that's hanging out has any questions about what I'm doing that's not going to lead me down too big a rabbit hole or be something that's too early to talk about or announce, I would absolutely love any feedback from anybody. Like I said, any sage advice or any questions or any of these things resonate with you, or anybody that does that might be interested. There's going to be, again, the second phase I mentioned earlier is a lot more about community, and so getting that going and how do you do that is there's a lot of potential ways, a lot of options. And one, I think, initial starting way I'm going to do that is through a Facebook group, and I have another page that used to be kind of like a personal page, and a separate another Instagram that was kind of like my personal. Right now I'm on my like music ones. Anyway, I've renamed those a few months back to Advocating Wellness because I knew that that's the direction I was going. I just didn't know how to explain it yet, and it was too early. TruSummit hadn't fully coalesced as far as like the exact products and services and the phases of how it'll be rolled out. So anyway, I started the Facebook group. There's like 3 people in it right now, but if anybody's interested in joining that, it's the idea is to start building a community, and like-minded people that are obviously working with and trying to overcome the same types of struggles, issues, things that people can cheer each other on, share advice, help each other out, and all that good stuff. And I know there's like 5 billion Facebook groups. and tons of them in the wellness space. So why start another one, you might ask? It'd be like, why start another podcast? Because none of them are the voice that I feel like should be there, or the voice that I need for me, or the voice that I want to have in the world. And some of them are pretty close, and I've joined a bunch of those groups. But it's like you're only gonna be able to get exactly what you want, I guess, if you do it yourself. And so I have an idea, I have a vision of what I'd like it to look like and be, and how I'd like it to work. And so I'm just going to start my own. So if anybody is interested in that, drop a comment. I can shoot you the link to it, or an invite or something like that. Or you just search, it's called Advocating Wellness. There's probably a couple of similar names, but you see my ugly mug on the picture of the profile pic, or whatever you want to call it for it. So yeah, dude, Ian, good to virtually see you as well. Sully, Badger, been forever. Disintegrate, thank you. I got one on Institute. Yes, yeah, I think it should come up under Advocating Wellness. Before that, I had renamed it to Troy Fullerton Official. So I don't know which one it shows. When I log into my account, it says Troy Fullerton Official Advocating Wellness. I don't know exactly what it looks like on your end. I should probably figure that out. But yeah, there's an Instagram account, and a Facebook page, and then a group for sure. Oh yeah. I know I did Disintegrate. I just say I got a notification that you sent me a message. I just looked at it yet though. But thank you. Yeah. I appreciate you guys being here. And like I said, I'm planning on getting on a whole lot more in the coming weeks, and hopefully having a kind of an organized plan of what the heck I'm going to talk about. But any and all input, feedback is welcome. And like I said, I'm going to put together a quiz. I don't think quiz is the right word. Survey, Google survey or something like that. And probably try to get that done tomorrow or the next day and start posting that. Anybody that's interested, keep an eye on these social channels. And I'm going to do, I don't know, like a $50 gift card. It'll be like not a contest, a giveaway, sweepstakes. So everybody that does it gets entered, and then somebody will win. We'll do it for the next week or two, or until we get 50 or 100 people or something like that. And yeah, unless there's something else that'd be more enticing, a better prize, then by all means, drop a comment, shoot me a DM on one of these, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, and let me know what you think. So for now, though, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I have not practiced yet, and I am on a mission to practice a lot more than I am. So it's getting late here, and I'm running out of time to be able to do it before I'll be disturbing people. So I'm going to sign off for now, go play some drums. Unfortunately, I don't have the setup to stream it, or I would. I miss doing that. I had a lot of fun doing that. I hope to be able to get back to doing that again soon. But for now, it's just me being frustrated with myself by myself. But anyway, thank you all again. Appreciate it. And I will see you guys again soon. So cheers. See you later, Sully, Ian, Disintegrate, everybody else. Thank you. See ya.